Alright, this is a typical problem that we usually get, and they want us to solve for y. Alright, so you have to ask yourself what's being done to y. Well, y is being multiplied by -6, and it's also being added by 5. Now we have to be careful because a lot of kids think because it's minus here that it's being subtracted by 5, which is a no. It's the sign in front of it, so the sign in front of it is a positive. So we'll put a +5 here just so that we don't forget. Alright, and don't forget, we always go backwards on these things. So even though we're following PEMDAS, remember PEMDAS is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If we don't have a variable, we do that. But if we have a variable, we go in the opposite direction. We call it SABMAP. And we do the opposite for each one. So when I see the subtract, I'm really going to add. When I see add, I'm going to subtract. When I see divide, I'm going to multiply. When I see multiply, I'm going to divide. So, but this is the best way I can think of to help you out a little bit, is that we are going to always get rid of, not always, but most of the time, get rid of add and subtract first. And we talked about this in class. We want to get rid of add and subtract first. So here we go. My variable is y. It's being multiplied by -6, but it's also being added by 5x. So we want to get rid of the add and subtract first, so we're going to subtract 5x to both sides. This will give us a 0 pair. Now, we're bringing down our 6y, but it's negative, so don't forget to bring down -6y. Now, I know you look at it and go, it's a subtract sign. But that's only when you have a sign like that between two things. Now that one of the sides is gone, we only have a negative, so it stays as a negative. Now here's where most kids mess up. We can't take 30 and subtract 5x from it and say, oh, it's 25 or 25x. That doesn't work. That'd be just like me saying, this, you have $30. I want you to take 5 of these x's away from $30. And that's impossible. You can't take 5 x's away from $30. However, you can make it look like you are. And so here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to write it just like you see it here. We're going to say 30 minus 5x. That's all we did. We just took that and just wrote it again, since you can do it. Now you could switch it. You could say -5x plus 30, but remember the sign on the 30 is in front of it. It's a plus, so you'd have to put it plus. But I like doing mine this way, so we'll just do it this way. And this is the way we did it in class. All right, now that we did multiply, now we're add and subtract. Now we're going to do the multiply and divide part. All right, so again, what's my variable? It's y. What's being done to y? It's being multiplied by -6. The opposite of multiply by -6 is divide everything by -6. And we talked about this in class. When you have a number, you want to divide everything by 6. Well, if you remember, -6 and a -6 is going to cancel out. So the only thing I have left is y. Now if you look at 30 and divide by -6, that I'm talking about right here, if you take 30 and divide by 6, you're actually going to get -5. You can simplify it. The other one is a fraction. We don't want to put it in the calculator and get 0.833333. All right? We like to leave fractions alone. But however, this one has a negative here and there's a negative here, and two negatives make a positive. And let's just leave the fraction alone. Let's just put 5/6x. Alright, now if you have to reduce the fraction, you can do that. But we don't need to change it to a decimal. We don't need to change it to a mixed number. Just leave it as a fraction. So if you end up getting an improper fraction, just leave it as an improper fraction. This is our answer.